Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Pundit says £34 million Arsenal player has proved him wrong. Jason Cundy has admitted that he has been proven completely wrong by one Arsenal player after not being convinced by him when he joined the Gunners. Arsenal have put the pressure right on Manchester City and Liverpool in the Premier League title race, with the Gunners beating Chelsea 5-0 at the Emirates on a Tuesday night. Martin Odegaard provided two assists, and as shown by who scored, the Norwegian managed to contribute 8 key passes during the win, 3 more than Bukayo Saka and 1 more than the Chelsea players managed between them in North London. Odegaard appears to have found another gear of late, producing a number of captain's performances to help keep Arsenal right in the mix for the title as the end of the season comes into view. It's remarkable to think that Arsenal paid just £34 million to sign him permanently from Real Madrid, particularly when you consider some of the fees Tuesday's opposition have parted with in the last few years. One of those who has been surprised by just how good and influential Odegaard has been is Jason Cundy, with the Chelsea supporting Pundit, claiming on Hyper Squad that he cannot speak highly enough of the 25-year-old. He said, I want to mention Odegaard. He is probably consistently over the last 3 seasons been the best number 10. I know people talk to me about De Bruyne, but he's had injuries, but I would say consistently last 3 years, I'd say Odegaard is as good as anyone in the league right now, and last night I thought he was the best player on the pitch. I have to say, when he first joined Arsenal, I wasn't that taken by him. I'm looking at him, not convinced. Pundit says Arsenal have a scary player who isn't rated highly enough. Arsenal's star players have been utterly brilliant this season, and perhaps the best of the bunch has been Declan Rice. The England international has taken to life at Arsenal like a duck to water, and speaking on the Premier League productions, Don Hutchison has reserved some special praise for Rice. Hutchison spoke highly of Rice, claiming that he is a very underrated player. He said, yeah, it's the protection that he offers, but you mentioned Yaya Toure and a different player, Jude Bellingham. He has that ability to play as an 8 or a 10 further forward. I think he is a very underrated player, Declan Rice. I don't think he is even anywhere near his prime, which is a scary thing. Hutchison is right to praise Rice. The midfielder has enjoyed perhaps one of the best debut seasons we have ever seen at Arsenal, and it's hard to really say he is underrated these days. Indeed, it feels as though everyone knows just how good Rice is these days. Almost every team in the Premier League know what he brings to this Arsenal team and how important he is. Rice is very much a player who gets his due credit these days, and it's great to see him enjoying his football with such a smile on his face this season. Whether or not Rice can cap off this campaign by winning the Premier League title remains to be seen, but regardless, this will certainly go down as a season to remember for Rice and Arsenal. Martin Keown says outstanding Arsenal player will be crucial against Tottenham. It's now clear that Thomas Partey needs to play in the pivot and Kai Havertz as the false 9 in Arsenal's final 4 games. Arteta's team are immeasurably better balanced with that setup, and it would be a surprise if any changes were made ahead of Spurs. Of course, that means leaving Gabriel Jesus on the bench for 2 games in a row whilst fully fit, something that has probably never happened in his Arsenal career. That being said, Martin Keown was absolutely convinced that Kai Havertz was this team's star man when speaking on TNT Sports coverage last night. Speaking at full time, Keon recalled a time when Havertz was perceived as something of a passenger in games, saying he was the opposite of that right now. He stated, "There was a suggestion when he first came here that he was a bit passive in the way that he played, but nothing passive in his performance. I thought he was outstanding. Get him off as soon as possible. Huge game against the Spurs at the weekend. You need to protect him." Of course, Havertz and all of his Arsenal teammates will now enjoy a short period of rest before Sunday's big derby. £30 million player has been told he can leave Arsenal this summer. Arsenal will not stand in the way of one of their stars leaving the club this summer. Amid interest from London rivals Chelsea, TBR Football understands that Arsenal have now told Aaron Ramsdale that they will not stand in his way from leaving the club this summer. The 25-year-old England international was relegated to second choice after David Raya arrived on loan from Brentford last August. Raya's move will be made permanent in the summer, something that has already been confirmed to the Spanish international. When Raya first arrived at the club, TBR understands that Ramsdale was willing to fight for his place, but it quickly became clear that he would be second choice. As a result of the situation, Ramsdale is now ready to leave, and sources have confirmed to TBR that there is mounting interest in the goalkeeper. TBR can confirm that Chelsea, who are looking to bring in a new goalkeeper this summer, appreciate Ramsdale's qualities and are keeping close tabs on the situation. Newcastle United manager Eddie Howe is a long-term admirer of the former Bournemouth goalkeeper. However, given Newcastle's issues with the league's profit and sustainability rules, a deal would currently appear unlikely. Wolves and Bournemouth are also interested in a move for Ramsdale, but Arsenal's price tag may end up proving prohibitive for both clubs, with the North London side likely to demand in excess of £30 million. Sources close to Ramsdale have confirmed that a move abroad is something the goalkeeper would consider, realizing that a number one spot in England may not be available. Of course, this news begs the question as to who Arsenal would then seek to replace Ramsdale in the summer. Romano on potential Arsenal and Man United moves for Dutch Hitman. It's no secret that both Arsenal and Man United are in the market for a proven striker, a frontman that is almost a guarantee of goals and who will gobble up chances with ease could be the difference maker for either side. But if a player comes into the market with those credentials, it isn't going to just be the two Premier League giants who will want to be in a position to bid for his services. Moreover, if a bidding war is a result of interest from multiple suitors, it could end up that neither the Gunners or the Red Devils will be successful in their pursuit. One player that could be available in the summer is Ajax hitman Brian Brobby. The Dutch centre forward has 21 goals and 10 assists in 39 matches for the Amsterdam-based side already this season, according to Transfer Market. Though the Eredivisie might be considered an inferior league to the Premier League, strikers still have to know where the goal is, and in that respect, Broby has lived up to expectations. It could be some while before he makes the jump to the English top flight, however. Romano said the following: "We are also seeing fresh rumors about Ajax striker Brian Broby, who has been linked with both Manchester and Arsenal. My understanding, however, is that there is nothing concrete to this story so far. Broby has been linked with Man United since Ten Hag joined as manager, while I'm not aware of anything else with Arsenal at this stage. Ajax will discuss Broby's future in the summer, but again, we need to see who they pick as their new manager and what kind of strategy they want to adopt. If he is made available by Ajax at the end of the season, it isn't clear how much the Dutch Giants would want in return for his services, though it's not likely to be prohibitive. Arsenal are ready to move for £100 million player if they get any indication that he wants to leave. TBR Football understands that Newcastle United believe Bruno Guimaraes will snap interest to stay at Newcastle United this summer. The Brazilian midfielder committed himself to the club with a new deal earlier this season, which TBR understands made him the highest paid player at the club. Bruno Guimaraes has long been linked with the Spanish giants Real Madrid and Barcelona, whilst the French giants PSG are big admirers, but TBR can also confirm some of the strongest interest in him is from within England. Arsenal, who looked at him closely prior to Newcastle agreeing terms with Lyon, are in the market to bolster their midfield options, and Guimaraes is someone they admire hugely. Likewise, TBR is told that Manchester City hold the player in huge regard and have been monitoring his progress since he moved to England. Guimaraes' new deal at Newcastle also included a release clause worth around £100 million. Magpies sources have downplayed any suggestions that would entertain an offer for Guimaraes. Indeed, they are insistent that they regard the 26-year-old as a key to their future success. Newcastle firmly believe that Guimaraes is not looking to leave the club, but if it becomes apparent he does want out, the situation could change very quickly. Indeed, sources have told TBR that should Arsenal and City get any indication that Guimaraes wants to leave James Park, they are ready to make a move for him. Newcastle are keen to keep hold of their biggest stars this summer, following a difficult campaign under Eddie Howe. TBR revealed on Tuesday that the Magpies are keen to open contract talks with Alexander Isak, another Newcastle star who has been linked with Arsenal. Both Guimaraes and Isak have been key for Howe this term, with the latter netting 20 times in 34 appearances. Guimaraes has been equally as impressive in the middle of the park, registering 12 goal involvements in 44 games this season. Arsenal could sign a Premier League midfielder by selling 30-year-old for £25 million. Aston Villa's Douglas Luiz has been a long-term target for Arsenal, and the Gunners may sell Thomas Partey this summer to fund a move for the Brazilian midfielder. Centre midfield is an area Mikel Arteta wants to strengthen ahead of the new season, and Luiz is a strong option to make a move to the Emirates Stadium. The Aston Villa star is Arsenal's top target for the role, and they may sell Thomas Partey to make that happen, reports Football Insider. Speaking exclusively to Caught Offside for his latest daily briefing column, Arsenal journalist Charles Watts has explained that the North London club's stance on Partey will be the same as last summer. He said, Thomas Partey's future is certainly going to be one of the big talking points of the summer. Last summer, Arsenal were open to selling Thomas, but no tempting offers came in. They weren't pushing him out of the door or anything, but given his age, his poor injury record, and the fact he was one of the club's biggest earners and was into the final 2 years of his deal, they would have cashed in if a good enough bid arrived. In the end, that didn't happen, so they were happy to keep him around, and I think this summer will be exactly the same situation. He will have 1 year left on his contract, and so should a good bid come in, they would consider it. But I don't think they will actively be trying to force him out. He's not played that much since returning to fitness, but he showed against Chelsea on Wednesday night how good a player he still is when fit. So it might be they just decide to keep him around for the final year of his contract before allowing him to leave on a free. Juventus have been consistently linked, but I have never had it confirmed that those links are genuine. There was certainly interest from Saudi last summer, but Partey wasn't overly keen on that. He really wanted to stay at Arsenal. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace out.